Hey, so I'm home, jet lagged. We got in yesterday. We were in Europe a full 2 months. So really weird to be home among my regular things. And I literally woke up several times last night wondering where I was, what city I was in. So apparently that lags a little bit after you get home. At least it did for me. This is the very interesting and helpful post-trip packing review. You see out here on the bed everything that I took, and I'm going to go through every item, let you know how valuable I thought that it was, and whether I would recommend it or not. So I prefer a 40-liter backpack, and the reason why is this fits in all of your airplane overheads. I have done several hiking adventures and have been on several airlines, and this fits right in the overhead and nobody ever has a problem with it. So this works as your carry-on luggage, so a 40-liter. This is obligatory. I'm going to tell you that this is a Tilly, and I ordered it online. I measured my head first and then just got online and had it delivered to my house, I think even overnight. It's got a good probably 3-inch, maybe 4-inch brim. A lot of people brought their favorite or their lucky baseball hat. I'm going to say that this is much better because it covers your ears and the back of your neck. There are plenty of days when there's zero cloud cover, there's no trees, there's no shade whatsoever. So just do yourself a favor and bring a wide brim hat. You'll see plenty of Tillys out there, and one of the reasons is it flattens right down, goes in your backpack, and when you're ready to wear it, it's great. It just always looks great and easy to wash, which is one of the things I need to do with mine. So I'll just go through things, and hopefully these are semi-organized. Here is my filled-in Pilgrim's Passport. So that's the first half, and then the back half. We had initially intended to go to Finisterre, which is another 4 days past Santiago, and we decided not to because it was going to rain every day. I frankly right now regret that decision. Everyone that I have talked to on the trail who had done Finisterre before really thought that it was their favorite part of the trip, and then you end at the ocean, which really does feel like a conclusion to the trail. But most people don't go there at all, and they will stand and argue with you that Santiago is the finish because that's where all of the trails, all the caminos conclude. So up to you, but I think given a second opportunity, I would do it even in the rain. It's a nice place to bus out to, which some people did. It's a beautiful beach, rocks, crashing waves, boats, the whole thing. So maybe you celebrate your trip, your trips end with a little hotel on the beach. Okay, on to my Apple Watch. The reason why I like it is I wasn't counting steps. I wasn't counting calories. If you watched any of my videos, you know that. The reason why I like the Apple Watch is the alarm on it is a vibration on the wrist, which wakes you up without disturbing any other people. In a dormitory situation, you got to figure out a way to wake yourself up without waking up the whole house. I'm going to go to the headlamp for that very reason as well. I got a headlamp that has a red light in it as well as flashing lights, bright white light, dim white light, all the bells and whistles. If you need to get up and pack in the dark in a dormitory, or even get up and go to the bathroom, you can do everything with a red light on and it doesn't disturb sleeping people. So do your bunkmates a favor by doing that. Here's something I did not use. This is one of those money belts, and I would not use it for anything in town. I mean, the Camino is so super safe and the villages are incredibly small. You know, maybe some people like it for big cities, but I was not bothered by big cities at all. The reason why I brought this is I read that, you know, you could easily be pickpocketed while you sleep if you have your money not attached to you. I did not use this at all. It was not in a situation where I felt uncomfortable or unsafe, but just a word, you know, some people might want to. I brought it anyway. Here's the shell. It made it all the way without getting broken or busted on the back of my pack. You'll pick this up when you pick up your passport. And clothing. I brought 3 pairs of zippy pants, zippy being the bottom zip off, 1 pair to wear, 1 to wash, and a spare, and 3 shirts. And I felt like that was still a good decision, even though it added a lot of weight to my backpack, because in a rain situation, if you've only got 2 pair, 1 to wash and 1 to wear, you might not ever have dry clothes. If you're in some of the refugios or albergues, the only drying that you have is outdoors on a line, or inside with all the other wet pilgrims. So nice to have just 1 other set of clothing so that you can have some dry clothes. So I would still go with 1 to wash, 1 to wear, and a spare. This is my sleep kit, it feels like. So I brought a pillow. I didn't use it, not even once. Every place that I was staying, whether it was a dormitory or a hotel or an auberge, they all had pillows. This was unnecessary. And my my bag for sleeping, this is what I used, is like a felted material, like a knit, a polyester, and it has a pillow pocket at the top. So you don't need to lay your head on a pillow that's made, it hasn't been washed recently or anything. You just slip it into the pillow pocket. And everywhere that I went, they had pillows, and most places had blankets as well. So you're going to need a sleep liner to sleep in. And there are some cold nights. There was at least one night when I had everything on that I brought. A fleece, pants, sweat, like everything. I had everything on, and socks, and the bed liner. There was no blanket at that place. It can get quite cold. Speaking of, I brought a fleece jacket, a very light fleece jacket, and that turned out to not be enough. So somewhere along the way on our Camino, I bought a puffy jacket that fit into my backpack nicely. So we'll throw that aside. Here's another essential. For me, I'm all about the poles. Some people are anti-pole people, or they'd rather not. I like the poles, and I'll tell you why. It keeps your posture correct for walking, and because you're using your arms as well as your legs, it reduces your overall workload by 30%. Now, a lot of people use their poles incorrectly. So when you're walking, your poles are more or less to your side. Your arm is parallel, like skiing, right? And they're not way out in front of you. That's not efficient. So you're working kind of in a small space here. And they have titanium tips on them typically. If you have the little round rubber stopper, you're going to burn through that in the first week, and then it's going to be like not having anything on it at all. Most of your Camino is going to be on paved path, road, rocky path, and all of those things make a great deal of noise when you're striking them with a titanium tip. I brought these little foot things, which have got an amazing tread on them. I'll show you. And they're also reinforced with metal on the inside. So no matter what, like I went 500 miles, right? And my tips did not come through to the bottom of my poles. And the proper way to use this kind of tip is when your fingers are forward, the little tennis shoe for your pole should be facing backwards so that you're hitting on what would be the heel of the boot, if you will. So that's what I have to say about hiking poles. Now, don't bring your $100 plus hiking poles. Mine were confiscated in Madrid. It's really interesting. It's wherever you go through security. So I started out in the United States. The United States had no problem with my poles. I had my poles in a pole bag attached to the back of my backpack. Nobody questioned it. And I went from the United States to Athens from Athens, no pole problems, to Bilbao, no problems on the trains, right? But when we were getting on our first airplane to come back to the United States, Madrid did not allow polls, and they were confiscating everybody's polls if you didn't check them. So you can check your polls. It's going to be easier if you have a poll bag, and do it before you get in line and give yourself plenty of time. Even for a 6 a.m. flight, getting at the airport at 4 a.m. to check in, we were in line almost the entire time. There was no time to get a cup of coffee or a croissant or anything before we got on the plane. So I'm even going to say give yourself 3 hours when you get to the airport. Okay, these are socks, same as pants and shirts. 3 pairs of socks. I brought liners. Let me show you what a liner looks like. Okay, this goes inside my very tough socks, and this is probably the best blister prevention that I've ever used. I've never had trouble like I did on this trip before, using a liner and a regular tough sock on the outside. But boy, when things went south on this trip, they went very, very badly. And so we'll go straight to the foot kit, because if it's too late and if the liner didn't work well enough for you, then this was my saving grace. I went through 2 full rolls of foot tape, and I learned about threading blisters on YouTube prior to, and I'm not going to show you a bunch of brand names and whatever, because that tends to hold up your videos, and it doesn't matter whose tape you're using. Bring tape. I went through 2 rolls of tape. Here's how to use it. So a full blister, a blister that's full of liquid, that's painful. So what we did was we ran a clean thread with a sterilized needle through the blister, and you leave the thread, both ends out of either side of the blister, and let it drain overnight. Then in the morning, pull the thread out, tape the blister. There were several days when I taped my entire heel and a couple of toes and the front edges of my feet, because I was having trouble, but this stopped the trouble and allowed my feet to finally heal completely. And on the last, 3 or 4 days on the Camino, I didn't even have to tape. I also have in my foot kit a pair of scissors. Here we go. I like these. They don't seem to stop you in security. What goes through X-ray just fine, and they're small and portable. And they're sharp, so they worked really well. Some bandages, gauze. When you run into trouble, you're gonna need gauze. I went through probably 4 packages, and each package has 4 gauze bandages inside. You cut them to fit your blister, then put the tape over the gauze. So I would definitely plan on gauze. As far as moleskin, I didn't use it. I used a, I'm not gonna offer a brand. I used a plastic adhesive on some of my blisters, and that actually created bigger problems than what I started out with, because I didn't soak them off. Then I ended up with bloody feet. So we'll just leave that foot topic alone. When you go on Camino, it'll be the first thing everybody talks about. It's kind of funny. Okay, I brought 4 pairs of underwear, and I'm happy with that. I brought long underwear, pants and top. I did wear this when it was cold at night. Not during the day, ever hiking, but at night when it was cold. Inside my fleece pack, I have a fleece jacket, some fleece gloves, which are really nice for those cold mornings. And this will help you. This is what I learned to call a watch cap. It's just your little fleece cap. It'll keep your ears warm in the morning, but it's also going to keep you really warm in a bunk during a cold night. So, everybody knows you lose all your heat to the top of your head, right? So cover up your head. These little cubes are, I think they're kind of pricey, but they sure do help you keep organized in your backpack. So everything I have is in cubes or bags, which, just helps a bunch. In the sleep kit, I'm a little bit back and forth, aren't I? In the sleep kit, I also have an eye mask and lots of earplugs. If you are staying in dormitory, you're gonna need earplugs just every night. And one pair of earplugs lasts me 3 to 4 nights if you're going to count them out to determine how many to bring. Okay, for charging up your electronics, I really liked this thing. It comes ready with your US plug, right? But it has this neat European plug attachment. So the funny 2-prong thing, right? And 4 ports. If you're in a situation where you have a lot of people who are trying to plug into a wall, if you have 4 ports, you can probably talk somebody into taking their single port charger out of the wall and sharing yours, allowing you to get your electronics charged up overnight. And then this was the light bag that I carried for all of my cords and my plug. This is my hold up kit. 0 makeup, right? And realistically, even if you spend money to get a hotel, on the Camino, you're not likely to get a blow dryer. So I did bring a round brush, but I think I only saw a blow dryer half a dozen times. So figure out what to do with your hair, ladies, before you get there, because they're just, nobody does anything. You know, they put a hat on or they stick their hair in a ponytail. Done and done, right? I pulled out a couple of items from my pack because one of the questions that I had before I went was, well, how much deodorant do I bring? How much will last 2 months, right? So 1 stick of antiperspirant, I've still got a little bit in there, lasts 2 months completely. I brought a face wash. I'll address this in just a second. I didn't use it at all, and it's heavy. So maybe you can save some weight by not bringing that. I brought a lotion with an SPF 30 in it. This is still, it's easily still half full. I use it every single day, face, neck, chest. I never got a sunburn, and you know, it's a combination product, right? So you're carrying less stuff. And this little tiny bottle lasts me 2 full months, and it's still half full. So that's a good one. I'm almost done with the toothpaste. I brought a 3.9 ounce tube of toothpaste, and I think that's like 0.01 ounces over FAA regulation size, but nobody stopped me, and so this 1 tube of toothpaste lasts the entire time. So hopefully that answered some questions. I brought this big heavy bar of soap. I did not use it. Realistically, what I found works and works really well is I have this yummy shampoo bar, and it has a little like a spongy pad on the bottom of it, so it kind of dries itself inside the tin. And I did buy the tin separately from the same company that I bought the soap. It smells really good. Anyway, we did not stay in dormitories every night. So I have a lot of shampoo bar left, but my understanding from the pilgrims who did stay in dormitories every single night, that 1 bar of shampoo will last you the full Camino. And realistically, like, you just are not going to end up using a bunch of products. You can barely stand up when you get to your dormitory, so, or your hotel or whatever you're doing. So 1 and done, right? Shampoo, face, pits, body, hair, all of it. And this stuff foams up really good. It was very satisfying. My med kit, right? Some Excedrin, an acid reducer, and vitamin I, ibuprofen. I used a lot of ibuprofen. On the big days where I knew it was going to be a giant down climb or a big up climb, I dosed prophylactically in the morning to get it on board before I was to experience any inflammation, and it worked great. You can use ibuprofen twice a day, so you know, you can use it in the morning before and then dose it at night as well. This was a pretty good idea. This is just a big old bag, and it's waterproof. There you go. This fit a change of clothes and everything that I needed. So my little shower bar, you know, whatever I needed to take a shower in the dormitory. And then to another item that I got off of somebody else's video was an aluminum S-hook. It doesn't weigh anything. And then if you're in a shower situation where there really isn't any place to put your clothes, oh, by the way, put your passport and your money in here too. Everything goes to shower with you when you go to the shower. Then, you know, you have a place inside the shower, even if it's just the shower door, to hang all your stuff so you keep it inside and secure with you when you're showering. So I thought that was a good idea. I would recommend it. This is my wash kit. A couple of items I'm just super happy with. This little gizmo right here. So it's a clip, and then it's got this little loop on the end of it. So if you've got a railing on the outside of your place, you can hang some stuff on the railing, or inside a hotel, you know, the bar where the hangers are. You can hang up your shirts and pants and whatever on these. 6 to 8 is great. They don't weigh anything. The other thing, if you can find it, and this is actually a kitchen item, it's used to cover up like a little bowl in a picnic situation to keep bugs out of it and stuff. It's silicone. What you want this for is to stick it in the hole of the sink, because a lot of sinks don't have stoppers. Then you can wash your clothes. You can fill the sink, wash your clothes, right? I brought a couple of different kinds of clothes cleaner because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. If there was shampoo, I would shampoo it, right? If there was hand soap in a hotel, I would use hand soap. But I didn't want to use a brand. But if you can get these little liquid packets, I really preferred those, and you can get a lot of clothes done on one liquid packet. And in a public laundry situation, I even used a couple of just 2 of these little packets inside a drum washing machine, and that worked really well as well. So that's all I got to say about laundry. You're going to need one of these rapid dry towels. I brought the big one because I like to cover up, and you want one of these because you need to have your own towel, and it needs to be dry before you put it back in your backpack in the morning. So that's a necessary item. Some shoes to change into when you get to your albergue or your refugio, because they won't let you wear your boots right inside. You'll store your boots and your poles as you walk in. Potty Kit. So Potty Kit, hand sanitizer, some Kleenex, some plastic bags, and then please, please, please do everyone a favor. If you have to potty outside, and at some point you're going to have to potty outside, put your waste in the plastic bag and carry your waste out with you. It's just really, it's a shame how many people don't think of that. So don't be one of those people. I brought this really nice little lightweight water filter. Most of the public water outdoors that's provided for pilgrims is water treated, and you can drink right from it. But there are a couple of places where the sign will say, you know, don't drink this water. Well, you might find yourself in a situation, especially in the summer, where you kind of have to drink the water. So I brought this. It's lightweight. I did not use it, but if I needed to, it was a comfort to know that I had it. I did use a water bladder system. That's everybody's personal preference. But so that's my personal preference. And I liked that I didn't have to fill it all the way full, because this is a really big one. So if I knew that it was not going to be that difficult a day, the temperatures were going to be pretty cool, whatever, I only filled up as much water as I needed. And most days you're running into a water source every couple of hours. And so, you know, you really don't have to carry very much water at all. In fact, a lot of people just carried an empty water bottle because they could refill it. This is my poncho. I still like the poncho, but it's not going to keep, you know, the bottom of your pant legs dry, and when it's hot, it really is just a big hot tent. I brought a spoon, knife, fork. If you're going to buy groceries and eat on the way as opposed to paying at a restaurant, you might want this. I did not use it, not even once. There was so much food available. I think there were only 2 days where we really needed to pack some food because there wasn't anything available. Most days, and you can just buy a sandwich, right, and take a sandwich. Most days, you looked forward to the stop. So you don't want these because you want to sit down, you want to take off your boots, you want to take off your socks, rest your feet before you go on. I brought some bug wipes. I did not use these at all. We started August 31 and finished on October 12. There were no biting bugs. There were some horse flies in some situations, but they really didn't bother us. I didn't get bit at all. So that I didn't need. A different month of the year, maybe. There were some little gnats that were really annoying in a couple of places. So if you got one of those jackets or even the head wrap netting that you could put right over the top of your hat, I wished I'd had it. It doesn't weigh anything, and it would have been a lot more useful to me than a bug repellent. I brought 4 cans of what do we call this? SPF, right? A sunscreen. I didn't use it. So this is just heavy. I have the one that I did use. It's still half full. I know I'm not using this the way I'm supposed to. I'm lazy. The fact is, if it's in my pack, I don't care if it's in the top of my pack, I'm not likely to stop, take my pack off, use my sunscreen, put everything back together. So I didn't use it simply because I'm lazy, but I'm telling you my honest situation. I went through a half a can and carried 4 heavy cans. We're coming to the end. This is my one stupid item. I brought a lightweight boot brush. If we'd encountered a lot of weather, maybe I would have used it to scrape off the mud. That's what I brought it for. We were lucky we only had 2 days of rain, so I didn't have any need for it. But if you think it's a smart item, it didn't cost very much and it doesn't weigh very much. It doesn't take up much space. I did get the very expensive umbrella. This is a sun reflective umbrella, and I thought, well, I could use it for rain and sun. I didn't use it at all, and this is pricey. I did see a lot of people using it early on in the trip when we were in, the equivalent to 100-degree weather. But my hat really just gave me all the protection that I wanted. So up to you. I brought it. I didn't use it. This is something you all wish that I had used, the selfie stick. If you can find one that you can attach to the front part of your backpack, to your straps, I think you're much more likely to use it. I didn't use mine because, again, I would have to take off my pack, get the selfie stick, make the video, undo all that, put it all back. And my videos were much more spontaneous and much less professional than that. I know you appreciated the fingers and the lenses and stuff that you got. So if you're going to bring a selfie stick, I saw some really little handheld ones, which probably would have been a really good idea. Maybe you can attach to a strap. You're only going to realistically use what's attached to the straps and what's in your belt pack. Otherwise, it's too much trouble. Here is something I'm really glad that I brought. This is a little 30-liter duffel that fits into its own pocket. I thought that I had packed super careful and that there was nothing extra, and I did find some extra weight, and so did my partner, the lovely Steven. So we were able to, I was able to put some weight after my feet blew up and I had all the blisters and all that stuff. It was clear that I needed to reduce some weight, even though I only had the essential items here. I put some heavier things that I wasn't going to use for the day in this, and then for €5 a day, I was able to forward it to my destination, my daily destination. And that service is available to everyone. There's at least 3 companies who can take you from Saint Jean Pied de Port all the way to Finisterre if that was a service that you needed. I was not intending to use the service. I brought this just in case. And 9 days in, right, my boots weren't working. I needed to break in new shoes. 11 blisters. I needed to take some weight off to let my feet heal. So this was a lifesaver. That's it. That's the entire pack. This is our Kiki. Say hi, Kiki. And if you go on Camino, let me be the first to tell you, Buen Camino, enjoy. Would I do it again? Is next week too soon? Okay. Buen Camino. Bye-bye.